Turkey's decades of efforts to silence the historical truth through Hollywood. But these pledge words are not just phrases of the film's important social impact campaign. They are the emotional pledges that have burned in the hearts, minds, and souls of Armenians for over a century. 102 years ago, before the eyes of the world, the first modern campaign of genocide, systematically planned and unprecedented in scale, unfolded in the Ottoman Empire. By the time it had subsided, 1.5 million voices were forever silenced. With their disappearance and the forced exile of hundreds of thousands of survivors, the world's first Christian nation, an ancient people who had inhabited the Armenian highlands for 3,000 years, lost its historic homeland. But today, the families of survivors have settled across the globe and have formed a vibrant and prosperous Armenian diaspora, united by their shared past and rich cultural heritage. Although we did not experience the genocide firsthand, we identify with our ancestors and continue to feel the intergenerational trauma that has been transmitted to us orally. Together, we must pledge to keep their memory alive as we strive to build a brighter future from the shadows of a dark past. Let us promise to celebrate our blessed ancestors who violently perished for our faith and fatherland, forever upholding the promise to defend the same religious freedom and ethnic identity for which they sacrificed. Let us vow to come together as one nation, one people, and enter a new era of our flourishing nation's struggle for justice and retribution. We express our deep gratitude to the foreign governments, officials, relief organizations, and missionaries who valiantly contributed to our nation's survival and commit to promote education and support research about the genocide in academic and cultural institutions. We must also remain vigilant in upholding the appalling truth of the genocide against all those who sadly continue to deny it. For history unrecognized is subject to be forgotten, and those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Mass killings, forced deportations, slave labor camps, starvation, disease, exposure, and the brutal dispossession of ancestral homelands of several thousands of years. Do I speak of 1915 or 2017? Sadly, there is no difference. The unresolved tragic history, the forgotten genocide of the Armenians by the Ottoman Turkish government launched the world into a cycle of violence and denial that has resulted in millions of lives lost and entire peoples destroyed. It has served as a gruesome reference for the modern genocides of the 20th and 21st centuries conducted by the governments of Germany, Ukraine, Cambodia, Rwanda, Bosnia, and those sadly occurring today in Sudan, Iraq, and Syria. This atrocity is not taught in many schools and is rarely discussed outside of the Armenian community today. Together, let us vow to educate humanity through strategic partnerships with institutions such as the USC Shoah Foundation that fosters Armenian genocide education through video testimonies, and by establishing centers for human rights education and advocacy, like the new Promise Institute for Human Rights at UCLA. Together, let us vow to tell our story to the masses. In the last year alone, the power of film has displayed the resilience and perseverance of the women of 1915. It has told the story of the Near East relief and America's historic response to the Armenian Genocide. And most recently, and I hope everyone has already seen the movie, it has shown how our ancestors made the promise to love, hope, and survive. Injustice is only enabled by silence, and many times over, justice has lost to silence. We must not only vow to tell the world about the Armenian Genocide, but bring awareness to every genocide taking place across the globe. For this reason, on December 9th, on the occasion of the International Day of Commemoration and Dignity of the Victims of the Crime of Genocide and of the Prevention of this crime, AGBU took the initiative to commemorate all genocides by hosting a seminar focusing on the lessons learned for prevention or protection. Genocides will go on if they are not condemned. We have a duty to stand up, especially if the international community has failed. All problems in the world are caused by very few people. The silent voices of society have to be more vocal, and we must together step up and bring their responsibility in speaking up against genocides and make up for the failure of these systems. In a chilling remark made in 1939, Adolf Hitler took advantage of the world's amnesia, looking at the Armenian Genocide as a precedent for his own Holocaust perpetrated against Europe's Jews. Who, after all, speaks today of the annihilation of the Armenians? We do, and now, so will everyone else. Let us vow to keep the promise. Let us vow to never stay silent. Let us vow to never forget. Thank you.